For most of my adult life, I have always been after the next great thing. I've always been chasing the thing that I don't have now, but once I get it, man, is it gonna make my life better. For example, in my early 20s, all I wanted to do was travel the world. And I took 6 trips around the world. Or when I was in college, all I wanted to do was graduate so I could join the Peace Corps, and I did it. I lived abroad in Ecuador for 2 years. And more recently, I've chased retiring early, so one day I can do whatever I want. However, looking back, what I know now that I didn't know then is that living with that mindset comes at a hefty price. It involves trading your present for your future. You see, traveling the world meant saving every penny and missing out on moments in the now. Joining the Peace Corps meant rushing through college instead of enjoying it. And chasing early retirement meant not enjoying today. It's a pattern that I've been on for most of my 20s, of trading today for tomorrow. But now that I'm in my 30s and a bit wiser than I used to be, I don't want to keep living my life this way. Instead, I want to focus on something else. Designing a life I don't need to escape from. Because let's be real, this constant chase for the next great thing is just a form of escapism. And in this video, as a wise nearly 32-year-old, I want to talk about how I've been shifting away from this mindset and share a few of the steps that I've been taking to build a life that I don't need to run away from. And the first step that I've been taking is to stop seeing money as the solution. For most of my 20s, I treated money like it was the solution to life's problems. Freedom, just save more. Happiness, hit the next milestone. Purpose, retire early. I thought that if I could just hit that next milestone, $10, $50, $100,000, then life would be better. And to some extent, money does solve problems. If you have a medical issue, a car problem, or a hungry stomach, money can help solve those problems. However, the truth is, money can solve emergencies, but it can't solve emptiness. Money can keep your stomach full and give you a roof over your head, but it's not going to make you fulfilled. And if you live your life believing that money will, you will end up ignoring many of your problems that money can't fix. You'll just be running away from them. And so the first step that I took to designing a life that I don't need to escape from is to stop seeing money as the solution to life's problems and instead start viewing money as just one part of the equation to a happy life. Because money can buy security, stability, and safety, but it can't buy fulfillment, purpose, and meaningful connections. Instead, those things have to be found by living intentionally and working for a better today. And knowing that is half the battle. And as I've come to realize that money isn't the solution to all of life's problems, I've also come to realize that making real change in life, especially with your career, takes more than just hard work. It takes clarity, strategy, and support. And that's why I'm excited to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Strawberry.me, a platform on a mission to make high-quality career coaching affordable and accessible to everyone. Let's be real, feeling stuck in your professional life is frustrating, whether you're trying to navigate the job market, move up in your current role, or figure out what's next. And it's easy to get overwhelmed or stuck in your own head. And not everyone has someone to talk to when it comes to these things, or even knows where to start. And that's where Strawberry.me comes in. They pair you with a professional coach who works with you on your schedule from the comfort of your own home. And it's not just about talking to someone, but it's about having someone to help you take action. Your coach helps you set clear goals, build a personalized roadmap, and stay accountable so you can stop delaying action and start making progress. And while coaching is not like therapy, it's sort of like therapy for your career because it's action-focused, future-oriented, and designed to create real measurable growth. Because designing a life that you don't want to escape from doesn't happen by accident, but it takes intention and the right support system. And by having a coach at your corner, it makes it a little bit easier. So head over to strawberry.me/laugustine or scan the QR code on the screen to get started with a $50 credit towards your first coaching session. Again, that's strawberry.me/laugustine. Now, the second step that I've been taking to designing a life that I don't need to escape from is finding freedom in the present. For most of my 20s, I saw freedom as something out there, something I'd reach if I'd traveled more, lived abroad, or hit financial independence. I was always telling myself, once I get there, then I'll be free. And although getting those things was freeing and I wouldn't trade them for the world, I do recognize that they came with a hefty price tag, trading today for tomorrow. In hindsight, I was chasing freedom in the same way I was chasing everything else, just a form of escapism. But now that I'm older, and maybe a little bit wiser, and not afraid to tell my feelings to a bunch of strangers on the internet, I am more aware of that. And now I focus on asking myself the question, what actually makes me feel free today? Instead of treating freedom like it's a finish line, I've begun finding it in small, everyday choices. For me, freedom is choosing to eat out when I don't want to cook. It's getting a second beer at the festival with friends, or it's taking a trip to Portugal and fully immersing myself in the moment without guilt or overthinking. Freedom isn't about waiting for life to begin, but it's about making intentional decisions now to live a more meaningful present, even when future goals are still in progress. And what I've learned by building a life that I don't need to escape from is that these small, present moment choices are just as important as the long-term plans because they allow you to enjoy the journey today while giving you the energy and motivation to keep building for a better tomorrow. And that mindset alone has made me feel freer than ever. The third step that I've taken is not living for achievements. About a year ago, I hit a wall on YouTube. I was posting 2 videos a week for over 2 years straight. My channel was growing faster than ever, and from the outside looking in, it looked like everything was working. But on the inside, I felt burnt out and overwhelmed. It was like I couldn't see clearly at the time. My vision was fogged. And the reason was because I was caught in this loop of always chasing the next thing, the next goal, the next hit, the next win. And around that time, I decided to take a pause, and I took an 8-day trip to Mexico with some friends. And on the plane ride out there, because it was during the Summer Olympics, I watched the movie Cool Runnings, which is a story about the first ever Jamaican bobsled team. We've all seen that movie, right? And when I was watching that movie, there was one scene that completely challenged how I was living my life at that time. It's the scene in the movie where the team captain asked the coach why he cheated in the Olympics years ago. And the coach responds, "I made winning my whole life. And when you make winning your whole life, you have to keep on winning, no matter what." And the team captain doesn't get it at first, and so the coach adds, "A gold medal is a wonderful thing, but if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it." And that scene hit me like a ton of bricks. I honestly teared up in my middle seat on my budget airline headed to Mexico because that was me. At that moment in my life, I was so focused on winning. Subscriber counts, views, growth. I gotta keep beating myself. I tied my worth to outcomes, many of which were beyond my control. But that scene reminded me of something very deep. Achievements aren't what make us enough. If you don't feel like you're enough without success, you are never gonna feel like you're enough with success. Because as the genie in the lamp said, there is not enough money or power on this earth that'll ever make you feel satisfied. And if you want to live a life that you don't need to run away from, you can't live your life just for the victories, but you have to enjoy the process. You have to appreciate whatever phase of life that you're in right now and let yourself be enough today. Because as they said in the movie, peace be the journey. And the fourth and final step I've taken is choosing my problems. So I am nearing the 3-year anniversary of quitting my job to become a full-time YouTuber. And if anybody has been here for that long, let me know in the comments. But when I decided to quit my job, I was trying to solve a set of problems. I wasn't fulfilled with my work. I wasn't in control of my time. And I wasn't happy with the direction I was going in life. And I thought that self-employment would be the answer. And in many ways, it did solve these problems. I don't have those problems that I had when I was an employee. But after 3 years, I have come to the realization, problems never go away. They just change form. You see, once I got rid of my old problems, I was presented with a whole new set of problems. Not knowing how much money I'm gonna make each month, not knowing the longevity of what I'm doing, and navigating the responsibilities that come with doing everything on my own. And what I've come to realize in life is that you are always going to have problems, but the key isn't escaping them. It's choosing the problems you're willing to live with. Whatever you choose to do in life, whether that's travel the world, become a CEO, or retire early, you are still going to have problems. And no amount of money or accolades is ever going to make problems stop. And so we have to choose the problems we're willing to live with. And to conclude this video, I quit trying to retire early because after living for tomorrow for so long, I came to the realization that life isn't just magically going to get better once you hit a certain milestone or goal. And when you're constantly living for the future, what you're really doing is trying to escape the present. The better option, in my opinion, is to instead focus on designing a life that you don't need to escape from, which still involves being wise and protecting your future self, but not forgetting to enjoy the present moment. Because if you don't do that, you will end up running a race that has no finish line. So start living today and design a life that you don't need to escape. And with that, muchas gracias, que tengan un buen día, nos vemos chicos.